everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another episode of my home renovation series. So this series is actually a Q&A series, and each video is a question submitted by you that I am answering. This week's episode we are tackling one of the most asked questions that I get, and that is, where do you get interior design and home renovation inspo from? So I have 5 sources that I'm going to share with you today, where I have learned tips and tricks on how to plan a build, manage a build, decorate the space after all the building works was finished, and everything in between. So let's get going. Number 1, social media. Whichever social media platform you use, there is going to be content that you can find that will teach you tips and tricks on interior design, DIY, home renovation, inspiration, you know, true real life accounts from other people's experiences. The best part about all of this, it is completely free. I love using social media as a source of inspiration for this. So I mainly use Instagram, so I follow lots of creators, from people doing their own home renovations right through to interior designers. Everyone provides different types of value, so it's really great. I'm going to share a few accounts that I love. I've linked them all below, so you can go and check out where I get my inspiration from on Instagram. I'm going to say now though that a few of my favourite design accounts, 100% Studio McGee. I just adore their design and their look and their feel of everything they do. When they do something, it just turns to gold. I love it. I also love Amber Interiors as a designer as well. And then I also love just other people doing their own renovations. So Renovation, I love her stuff. And also Liv Madeline, she has just got the best interior design style ever. It's so minimalist and the aesthetic is just perfect. So yeah, there are a few, and I'll list a few more below so you can go and check that out. I also suggest, when you're on social media, following a few hashtags. So on Instagram, I not only follow accounts, but I follow design hashtags. So interior design, modern rustic, minimalist design, neutral decor. There's so many, so I'll list my hashtags as well below that I follow, that also then pops up other accounts that aren't ones you follow but are within the same aesthetic, so that is also great inspiration. How could I not mention YouTube? So I also, for more long form content of seeing other people's home renovations, I love YouTube, and I will list a few of those below as well. Now I'm going to go on to number 2. So as I mentioned before about social media being free, which is always a bonus, the thing with things being free is they don't always share the full package. A trend on social media is to share the what, but not so much of the how. So if you are wanting to learn more on really how to do things, how to manage a build, how to design a whole room concept within your kind of style, you might see snippets of what other people have done, but understanding how to create that is a totally different thing. So if you really want to understand design and get style tips and tricks and learning more of the how, then I would absolutely suggest subscribing to magazines that are within your area of learning. If you are wanting to subscribe to magazines, then I have the best subscription for you. I have been a subscriber of Readly digital magazine app for a couple of years now, and it has been invaluable whilst I have been doing my home renovation. So you get all your magazines in one place on your portable device. So I have it here on my iPad. So a few of my favorite things about Readly as well is, not only does it have hundreds of different home and garden magazines, it also has all the backdated copies. So you can go into their archives and you can go and read LivingEtc magazine from December 2019, and they're all there, as you can see here. This is LivingEtc, and it has all these backdated copies. So when I was planning my home refurb, not only did I read the current magazines, I went back and read everything, especially if you are wanting to not focus on trends but kind of implement timeless style. Then it just means there is so much information on this app for you to engage in. Another thing I absolutely love about the app is if you want to bookmark a certain page, you can do, and you can save it. Add a description as to why you wanted to save this page, and then you can go and refer back to it later. So when I was saving and bookmarking a lot of inspiration, I would always write like what it was I liked on that page, go back at a later date to then try and order the product or or try that certain DIY hack or whatever it may be. So you can also download the magazines and then you can read them offline. So if you are traveling and you don't have signal or Wi-Fi, you can read the magazines on the plane or at the beach. That's where I'd much rather be, reading the latest copies of my favorite magazines. There are over 5,000 different magazines on the digital app. You can get all those backdated copies of whatever magazine you like. It is environmentally friendly because it's paperless and everything is on the app. And it's also a really cost-effective way, so it's $9.99 a month. However, I do have that free code for you. You can access Readly completely free for 2 months with the unique code that I have linked in the description. I hope you love this app as much as I do and enjoy having access to thousands of magazines at your fingertips every single month. I adore this app. I read magazines all the time through it and it is worth every single penny that I pay for it every month. Number 3, so we all love a TV makeover show and I adore watching any and all kind of interior design shows, whether it is my favorite designer overhauling a whole house or simply styling a room. I cannot get enough of it. I watch and then I rewatch so many design TV programs. So my favorite is Dream Home Makeover with Studio McGee. I love it. I literally watch both series, finish it, and then I start again. And I do it when I'm walking on the treadmill at the gym, and I make notes on my phone as I watch it because there is actually so much valuable information layered in between the beautiful before and afters. Also love your Home Made Perfect, and actually at the moment I'm watching your Garden Made Perfect because we are about to tackle our absolutely destroyed garden. That is our spring job for the house once the garden office is finished. Of course, I love George Clarke's Old House, New Home. Great series that I just absolutely binge on. I think I've watched all 7 series of it. I think that's it. But yeah, anything George Clarke puts out there, I'm gonna watch it. Number 4 is Pinterest. Of course it was gonna make the list. Pinterest is my favorite corner of the internet. Pinterest is a never-ending supply of inspiration for whatever, your home, garden, holidays, fashion, everything. I have hundreds of mood boards on Pinterest, and of course I have a very in-depth home renovation one, which has been private for so long, but I have just made it public now that we have finished. So if you want to check me out on Pinterest, I will link it below, and all my home boards. This is a great way to take inspiration from images of what other people have done in their homes. I will link my favorite Pinterest accounts that I follow that give out great home inspiration. However, it does sometimes lack the information of where to source certain products. So that is why, like I mentioned before, it's important to actually subscribe to magazines. On social media, people will link stuff that is accessible, whereas a lot of the links on Pinterest are quite broken. So that is my only downside with it. Does not stop me going on that platform and taking hours and hours of inspiration from everyone else. Number 5, my final source of inspiration where I get knowledge and understanding for doing a home renovation project or interior design inspiration is books. Good old sturdy physical books. And I have so many of them. This isn't even like 5% of my home renovation books, but I'm going to share a few with you that I have found and treated like Bibles. For me, books I find are a really great way to kind of give you a top line of understanding everything. So things like this, which is the Interior Design Handbook, I read cover to cover, and it is just a textbook of information on how to learn the fundamentals of design. The only thing I would say about books is that because they are physically printed and dated to when they were like published, they're not always the most up-to-date like learning source, which is why I still like to use social media or latest editions of magazines on my Readly app, of course. But it's not to say that they're not still valuable. This I learned so much from, so I will link that below. Another one I love was Studio McGee Make Life Beautiful. It wasn't actually what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a big glossy picture book, and it's not. It's kind of like their history of how they built their business. So it's actually really inspirational, especially for any aspiring designers, to see how they made it work and the risks they took to kind of achieve what they achieved. But it was really interesting, I liked it, and it was laced with a few like design tips throughout and some of Shay's personal style. I didn't actually mention this as a TV show earlier, but Fixer Upper by Chip and Jo is one of my favourite interior design home renovation TV shows. It is quite old, so some of the styles are kind of a tiny bit outdated, and it's based in Texas, so it's not always achievable to do the same look here in London, but it's still a great source of inspiration, and I think Joanna Gaines is amazing. So I bought her book recently, and it is just, it's the beautiful glossy picture book, but it's also littered with advice, and it's not so much like how she achieves what she's done, it's helping you understand how you can achieve what you want to achieve. So I think that's really good. But they're my books. I'm not going to bore you with them all on camera, but I will link all the books that I love and use for interior design and home renovation inspiration. So that's it from me. I hope that was helpful, sharing the 5 sources of where I get inspiration for home renovation and interior design ideas. So to recap, we discussed social media. Readly magazine app is the one. Also mentioned interior design makeover TV shows, love. Pinterest, of course, and last but not least, books. Physical hard copy books. I've tried to share as many of the actual names of magazines or authors or Instagram accounts that I take personal inspiration from. I will put them all in the description below, like I said. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any more questions or any video requests, then pop them in the comments and I will get back to you. And I will see you next time with another Q&A. Bye!